Why do I know? Why? Why do I know these things? Where am I? What the hell happened? You have been chosen.
That won't melt until it's 96
story about the crystallization
over 1,500 victims.
Galvathic mechanism hypothesis. Is this about God? Maybe it's about the devil.
No, Narigi.
I am Zero. Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9. 9 hours. That is the time you will be given to make your escape. He came out of the door and into a long, straight hallway. He paused for a moment and turned around to look behind him. Seven was bent over, apparently doing something to the door. What's he up to? Jinpei had spoke more or less to himself, but apparently Seven had heard anyway. A larger man stood up and turned to Jinpei.
I was just putting one of those plates in there. It ought to keep the door from locking again. Now we can come back here anytime we want, right?
Why would you want to come back here? Snake was a reasonable one. Seven thought about it for a moment before he answered.
I might like to play a little piano.
Piano? Piano?
Come on, let's get moving. We aren't out of this yet.
Without waiting for an answer, Seven started off down the hallway. Snake shrugged, sighed, and quietly followed Seven. That's a lie, Jinbei thought to himself. He had difficulty enough believing Seven could play the piano. But even if he could, the piano they just left was largely useless, the keyboard completely scrambled. If Seven wanted to come back, it was unlikely he intended to do so in order to play the piano. But if that was the case, why would he want to leave the door unlocked? Jinbei frowned, took one last look at the door, and then walked away toward his companions. After some time in the hallway, they emerged into a larger, more open area. A large metal grate, like the door of a jail, divided it in half. They shook it for a while, but as they had expected, it did not move. Behind the grate were 2 elevators. From so far away, however, it was difficult to tell if they were still operating. On the left side of the grate was a door. Unfortunately, however, it was locked and refused to open. Jinbei took a moment to examine the left side of the room. Next to the wall was a set of stairs leading downward. Standing guard at the top of the stairway was a large iron gate. Foreboding as it was, the gate seemed to be the sort that could be opened, unlike the metal grate that bisected the room. With luck, Jinbei hoped he might be able to get it open. The female symbol? He wasn't quite sure what to make of it. Snake, naturally, was somewhat more sure. The Venus symbol, I imagine. Do you recall the similar symbols near the large central stairway? They reference many of the solar bodies. Sun. Saturn. Earth. By your powers combined, I am Captain... something. So as you can see, that one is likely not the woman symbol, but a Venus symbol. So I assume. While they had been discussing the symbols, Jinbei now realized Seven had slipped away. His absence now felt, Snake and Jinbei turned to look for their missing companion. There. Seven had left them to head down the hallway, extending to the right of the stairs. Jinbei grabbed Snake to lead him in the right direction, and they both headed off after Seven. Before long, the 3 of them stood in front of a door. It was a French door. Jinbei tested the door and realized that, unlike so many others that they'd encountered, it was unlocked. Almost as though he was afraid it would suddenly lock itself, Jinbei threw the door open. That's pretty slow throwing. He stepped inside. It's like a bar. It took only a moment for Jinbei to take in his new surroundings. Is this some kind of casino?
Sure looks like one.
Before Jinbei could comment further, a noise from behind made him turn around. Snake was shaking the door they'd just come through. As Seven and Jinbei watched, he threw up his hands in frustration and then kicked the door for good measure. It looked as though they were once again locked in. There was no reason to panic, however. Even if the door had been left open, there was nowhere for them to go back there. they would have to find another way out.
Alright guys, let's split up and search through this room. Come on, no dawdling, let's go. There's no comma, there should be. Quickly now.
Spurred to action by Seven's words, Junpei and Snake began to examine the room. Here we go again! Alright. Seek a way out!
Excuse me.
Casino. Okay.
Hey Junpei, isn't that a card sitting on the table there?
This feeling. It seems to be a playing card. It's a 6. Or 5, sorry. The 5 of spades. It looked like a 6 for some reason. A square poker table. There's nothing on it.
That's a lot of expensive glasses. Even cheap drinks would taste great out of glasses like these. Well, will you look at that? Someone left a bottle of booze here. Don't mind if I do. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Ah. Oh, that hits the spot.
Feels like my throat's burning.
Damn, he really drank it. We don't even know how long it's been there. Junpei, I found this on the counter. It feels like a playing card. It's the 7 of spades. Chandeliers hang chandelier light from the ceiling. Okay. Out of there, I guess. Nope, that brings me right back. Wait. Can I, like, move around and such in here, or no?
Junpei, I just found this on the shelf.
Playing card. Oh, it's the 4. The 4 of spades. Got a lot of cards here. Wonder if we'll find ace. That's the 3. 3 of spades. Wow, this place is, like, super amazing. What's this place for?
Probably for playing Baccarat. It looks a little off, though. Yeah, look at the middle of the table. There's something mounted on it, see?
Suddenly, 7 began to speak.
Ah, Baccarat. You ever played, Junpei?
Junpei shook his head. He'd barely even heard of the game.
Alright then, how about I explain the rules to you a bit? See, Baccarat is kind of an unusual game. You've got the banker and the player. The whole point is that you guess which one's gonna win. And whether the banker or the player wins all depends on their hands. The way each hand works is different from other games too. See, you take the number from the one's place after you add up the value of all your cards. Whoever gets the number closest to 9 wins. If your number is smaller than your opponent's you lose. And that's it. That's the explanation. Got it? Well, actually, there's a lot more to it. Strategy, details, that sort of stuff. What I just told you sums up the core game pretty well. The single digit of the sum of all the cards you have. The strongest hand is a 9. And the weakest hand is a 0. You just ignore the number in the 10th spot. Do you get it?
He hadn't been asking for it, but Seven's explanation, rushed through it had been, was helpful. Although he had only half understood most of it, Junpei now felt as though he had some grasp of how victory was won in Baccarat. However, Junpei had no way of knowing if the puzzle in the Baccarat table in front of them made use of those rules, and if it did, in what way. No problem, he told himself. He would simply have to try everything he could think of. Feeling more confident, if only slightly, Junpei approached the Baccarat table. So, I assume I need to get a 9. So that's, I can see the playing card behind the thick glass case. It's the 8 of spades. Hey 7, are we really supposed to play Baccarat?
It's a Baccarat table. What the hell else would we do? Stop worrying about it. It's real simple. What's the opponent's hand?
Well, there's an 8 in that glass case.
Alright, that's your opponent's number. If that's the case, what 3 cards do we need to get that number?
3 cards?
There are a couple of indentations with white lines around them, right? Those mean we gotta put down 3 cards. So,
place 3 cards here and defeat the opponent's 8. That's what I've got to do, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
Something tells me those aren't the only rules. Alright, let's give it a shot. Before I start, I better make sure I've got the rules straight. There are 3 empty indentations. I just gotta pick a card and play it. I figure if I put them in the right spots, something ought to happen. Alright, let's give this a try. So I need to add up to 8, I believe, so it's like... My camera is low on battery? Seriously? Be right back. Alright, that didn't take too long, so gotta add it up to 8. So ignore the number in the 10 spot. So 5 and 3 would make 8. 7 and 5 would make 13. Oops. Now I'll try it again later. I think I need to get more cards anyways.
Check out that stained glass.
How beautiful.
What?
Huh? Stained glass is colored pieces of glass placed together in a frame. As I've said many times before, I need only touch it to know. I can at least discern the basic structure. Stained glass is recessed into the wall. All I can see in there is lighting fixtures, though. Probably means stained glass doesn't look outside. This slot machine has a pretty old-fashioned design. It looks well maintained and probably still works. Don't have any coins. It says 1 on the plate. The slot machine has a pretty old-fashioned design, looks well maintained and probably still works. There's no rust though, so I guess it probably still works. So I've got the symbols for heart, spade, and diamond here. It's the coin slot. This plate says 3. That's just... It says 9.
Yeah, it looks like that cover's hiding something.
If this is the cover, then maybe it opens up.
Probably does.
It seems the card is attached to the panel. And attached very well, it seems. If you don't mind, what sort of card is this? It's a playing card. The ace of spades, in fact. Here's the card slot. Looks like we need to put a playing card in here. Alright, let's give it a shot. I know what I need to do. I need to get the 8 out of there and put it in there to add up. It's not working. So it would seem. I'm shocked at the pod that guessing at random has not yielded better results. Yeah. Okay, over here. Then over here. Then... Oh, we haven't been here yet. There's firewood in the fireplace. Junpei, I can feel a frame here. What sort of painting is it? Clouds, maybe? Clouds. Well, maybe it's a rabbit? A rabbit? Well, if it's not that, it might be a close-up of some teeth? Oh, I guess there's actually nothing there. Just a blank piece of canvas in a frame. I see. How strange. There's a weird-looking thing floating in there. There's a weird-looking thing floating in there. Oh. Didn't think I'd find a card here. That's the 6 of spades. I think that's all I'm gonna need. Hopefully. So, let's head back to Baccarat. Before I start, I better make sure I've got the rules straight. 3 empty invitations, I just gotta pick a card and play it. I figure if I put them in the right spot, something ought to happen. Alright, let's give this a try. So, 7, 6, 5. Alright, if I just put down these 3 cards. Yes! Open for me!
Great! You did it, Junpei! You think it's telling us to take the 8 card? Come on, let's grab it.
Alright, let's take this card. The 8 of spades. Alright, let's head over to here, because yeah, I know what to do here. It's pretty obvious. In you go. Hey! Alright, it opened up. It seems we have another device to contend with, yes?
There are 3 slots in this one.
So it needs to add up to 9 again. I have 4, 3. I assume I need to find a 2. That would make sense, so let's get back to examining. I have not done much over here. This chair goes to the poker table. Feels really soft. Well, at any rate, this gate is very impressive. It feels like granite. It seems to be elaborately decorated in several places. A shame I cannot see it. there's a weird looking thing floating in there. Wait, when those two lights turned on, I heard something from the bottom of the fireplace. What was that? I heard something down there. Coin bag. There are a whole bunch of coins stuffed into this Valor bag.
Look at all these coins.
Perhaps these coins will allow us to convince the machines to move. So let's head back here. Club Diamond Heart. Okay then. Time to gamble. Oops. Do I need to... I guess I just try any of them.
This is the main body.
Oh, that's the thing. This is the main body of the slot machine. I believe I felt a coin slot on the upper left corner. Junpei, why don't you try? Alright, let's put the coins from that bag in here. What happened? I heard an odd noise. Well, to be honest, I don't know. I pressed some of the buttons and smacked the machine once or twice, but nothing happened. Oh. Looks like the coins got stuck. Oh dear. Coins are stuck. Don't think this machine's gonna work anymore. Alright, let's drop this coin in the coin slot. Come on, you little bastards, I only need one of you. Club. What are we doing here? Club. Damn it! Club. 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 Diamond. Crap, was it heart or spade? I think it's heart. Nope, it was spade. I'm gonna go for the sevens. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That was on 7. What? Okay, let's just do this. Club, diamond, spade. Or just... My eyes are hurting a bit. Club. Damn it, I screwed that up. I'm gonna go for the sevens because... Or not. 7. I think it might be impossible to get the 7s. Let's just do the thing out the way it's supposed to. Oh wow, now I got 7. Ah, come on. Really? That was on 7. I saw that. Seven, 7, 7. Yes, 7, 7, 7. And I think I hear something unlocking in there. Impressive, Junpei. It would appear to be unlocked now. There is something akin to a drawer in the bottom part of this machine, yes? That is a pickup drawer for dividend. Probably the lock for the drawer got unlocked. Please open it if you would. What is it? Is there something in there? Yeah, a playing card. And this... a key with the Venus symbol on it. Excellent, Junpei. Now we will be able to open the gate. Then we just need to figure out how to get out of this room. Correct. Come on, Junpei, hurry up. And he's off. There was a playing card and a Venus key. Better put the key in my pocket for later. As for the card... 2 spades. The slot machine. This is the coin slot. Okay, I guess I can't play that anymore. What was the point of those symbols? Maybe getting the symbols and the 7s is like the same? I don't know. Let's just head over to... Where's Where's the door? It's here. Okay, so let's see. 3 slots for cards, and there's 9 right below them.
So that probably means we gotta make 9 with the 3 cards we put in the slots, right? Just like what we did over at the Baccarat table.
Alright, let's give it a shot. Do. Alright, so I put all the cards we had left into the slots.
What happens now?
Is that... Yes, I did hear something from the exit. Excellent work, Junpei. Wonderful. It seems the exit is unlocked. Let's go. Alright, let's go. You found it! Hooray! I found things. Junpei and his companions ran out of the casino and into a large open room. A room, in fact, that they had been in once before. There was little to surprise them there. They already knew what their next step had to be. The iron gate still stood in place, locked tight, blocking the stairway. In the center of the gate was the keyhole engraved with the Venus symbol. This time, however, Junpei had the Venus key in his pocket. Wasting no time, he pulled it out and shoved it into the keyhole. He turned it. With the distinctive sound of metal on metal, he felt the lock click open. Alright, let's get this thing open.
No problem. Let me help with this one.
Junpei grabbed the handle on the left side and Seven took the handle on the right. On Junpei's signal, they both pushed, and the gate creaked open. It sounds as though you have opened it. We should be able to reach C deck now, I imagine. Snake, are you gonna be alright? I mean, the stairs. Please, do not do yourself the embarrassment of underestimating me. I would be unlikely to trip even if I were running backwards. I would be unlikely to trip even if I were running backwards.
Good to hear. Let's move.
At Seven's words, they leapt onto the stairs and jogged quickly down them. In no time at all, they found themselves on C deck. Junpei ran down the stairs a little farther in hopes of checking on the deck below. When he reached the water, he called back up to Snake and Seven. Just what I thought. D-deck is completely underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
The surface of the water below them was flat, like a mirror. That it had not changed too greatly since they last seen it was a great relief. Junpei quickly retraced his steps and headed back up to C deck. In front of the stairs were a pair of elevators. They appeared to be identical to the ones from the upper floor. Between them, attached to the wall, was another card reader. And next to that was another strange symbol. Hey, check it out. It's a symbol for Lotus.
What?
See, it's got the woman symbol, and then it's got devil horns, right?
Ha ha ha! Yeah, I see it. No two ways about it. That was a pretty good one, kid.
Seven tousled Junpei's hair in what he likely thought to be a friendly manner. Junpei feared his neck might break, even though it was clear Seven had kept his strength in check. Thankfully, Snake interrupted. After Junpei's observation, he'd gone over to examine the card reader. This is a Mercury symbol. The marks you mistook for horns are a stylized version of the wings and staff of Hermes. Wings and a staff, huh? So she beats you with the staff until you die and go to heaven? Sounds like Lotus, alright.
Ha ha ha!
Ha 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 ha! Seven shook Junpei's head even more vigorously, and the younger man began to feel as though his brain was being jostled about inside of his skull. He began to feel rather ill. Unless we can activate this device, I doubt the elevator will function.
In other words, we gotta find a keycard with a Mercury symbol on it.
So I would assume. They decided to leave the elevators alone for the time being and headed back to the stairs. To the left was another hallway. There were a great many doors lining both sides of the hallway. They seemed to stretch on forever, and all three men suddenly felt very small.
Oh shit, we're not gonna have enough time to check all of these, are we?
Maybe we can come back here later. Let's check out the other side. They turned around and went back the way they come. To the right of the stairs, another hallway stretched out, reaching deep into the bowels of the ship. After a few moments of moving briskly down the hallway, they emerged into an area roughly the same size and shape as the one at the top of the stairs. On the left side of the room were 4 French doors.
Well, let's open them up.
Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move. It was unlocked. Thrilled to have found another unlocked door, he threw it open. Still very slow throwing, in my opinion. Jinbei didn't know what to make of what he saw. Ooh. He simply stood, unable to speak. Seven's eyes opened wide and his mouth gaped. After a few long moments, Seven at last managed to speak.
Hey, what is this place?
A massive room stretched out in front of them, more a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on Seven and Junpei. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of beds. They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses. Is this a hospital? He had at last been able to put a name to the harsh scent that pervaded the room. The room was full of the clean smell of antiseptic solution. In the center of the room were shelves stacked with medicine and a number of medical devices, the function of which Junpei did not know. It's time for Surgeon Simulator, guys! Nah. More importantly, however, on the back wall of the room were 4 doors. 3 of them were emblazoned with large single-digit numbers, made with thick red paint. The door on the left was labeled 3. The second door from the left had no number, but the third had been given a 7. The door on the right bore an 8. There could be no doubt they were numbered doors. Obviously! What is this, brass restoration? Do the protagonists have horrible, reaction time now? It did strike Junpei as strange, however, that the door between 3 and 7 should be blank. What, he wondered, could it mean? Let's take a look at those doors.
Yeah, good idea.
The 3 of them threaded their way through the beds toward the back of the room. I'm trying to do math in my head here. Snake is 2, Junpei is 5, 7 is 44. No, 7. I was trying to be sarcastic. 44? What? Anyway, I don't know if we can open any of these doors, so it's 8 and 2 is 10, so that would be 1. And 8 and 5 is 13, which would be 4. 5 and 2... Oh, we can open door 7, I think. Yeah, we can open door 7. Upon reaching them, proceed to investigate each door in turn, but to no avail. You didn't need to do that 4 times. Yep, well, just like I thought. Naturally. After all, there are rules to the nonary game, and to allow these doors to open easily would violate those rules. Unless we can authenticate ourselves with the red, the numbered doors will...
Whoa, check this out.
Suddenly, Seven spoke up, interrupting Snake.
Look at the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Don't you remember the red back at the main staircase? If there wasn't anyone in it, it said vacant on the little screen, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But this one,
there's nothing.
Right? You think it's broken?
Only one way to find out. Junpei and the others put their hands on the panel, but nothing happened. The red refused to change. They tried pulling the lever, and still nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red on door 8 that seemed to be malfunctioning. The red on door 7. And the red on door 3. None of them worked. What, they wondered, did it mean?
They've got to be broken. Man, that bastard. I didn't think Zero was the kind of guy who'd screw around with something like this.
Whoa. Zero's been prepared for everything so far. And you're saying he's gonna make a mistake now?
Well, that's the only thing I can think of. This thing ain't working at all.
While Junpei and Seven talked, Snake busied himself with examining the red. After a time, he lowered his hands and spoke. It seems as if some of the internal hardware has been removed. Internal hardware? That is what I said. Take a look at the underside of this red, if you please. Junpei obliged and bent over to look at the underside of the device. A long, thin slit ran along the bottom of it. As he looked harder, he realized it was more of a slot than a slit, and that it was clearly meant to accommodate some manner of electrical device. The other 2 reds were the same. Something had clearly been removed from all 3 of them. I get it. So the reds aren't working because somebody pulled out their guts. So I assume. But why and who? I mean, it doesn't really make sense. I have no idea. Why on earth would I know something like that? Just then, they heard the sound of a door opening. The 3 of them turned and saw a cane. Oh no, Junpei thought, it's June. She stopped short, surprised to see them, and was very nearly bowled over by the rest of her companions, who were coming through the door behind her. Ace, Santa, Clover, and Lotus all poured out of the door, each of them as surprised as the last to see Junpei, Snake, and Seven. Junpei and Seven were, for the moment, at a loss for words. "What are you guys doing?"
Why are you?
Any dots. After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile, almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The ninth man had died, but they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. This was a triumph. He felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. This is bad, though. If the red isn't working, we can't keep going. What about that big hallway? Maybe there's somewhere in there we might be able to go.
No, there's nothing there. The five of us had a quick look. There were a great many rooms, although none of them appeared to have held patients for quite some time. Patients? You mean all those doors off of hospital rooms?
Yes. Apparently, they have a number of individual rooms in addition to this large central room. There was a door down at the end of the hallway too, but it was locked. It had one of those solar system mark things on it. It was a Jupiter symbol. Jupiter. I wonder what it means. Confusion seemed to be the consensus. That reminds me, what's the deal with this big room anyway? What is this thing? Was this some kind of huge passenger ship? No one, not even Snake, appeared ready to offer an answer until Seven unexpectedly spoke up.
I bet it's a hospital ship. In fact, it's probably the Gigantic.
The Gigantic? Junpei looked at Seven, shocked both by his knowledge of the apparent identity of their prison. He was not the only one. What's the Gigantic? Seven nodded to Lotus and began to speak.
The Gigantic.
He explained that she had been a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. The Titanic had two sister ships, who were identical to one another in nearly every aspect. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. She was initially intended to be a passenger liner, like the Titanic, but soon after the ship was launched, the First World War began and she was pressed to duty by the British Navy as a hospital ship. Sometime later, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She managed to run around after the incident and consequently was not sunk. She managed to run aground after the incident, sorry. What, then, happened to the Gigantic after her fateful encounter in the Aegean Sea? One theory ran that a man named Lord Gordon purchased her. Gordon Freeman? Lord Gordon, it seemed, had been one of the few survivors of the Titanic tragedy, and that trauma had turned him into an obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. As his obsession deepened, he began to desire the Titanic itself. That, of course, was impossible. The Titanic lay at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The Gigantic, however, had not suffered such a dire fate, and as she was identical to her sister ship, she caught Lord Gordon's eye. So, you're saying this Lord Gordon bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old. Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
Well, the ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic in a hospital ship, so I just figured...
Oh, for goodness, don't tell me that's your only reason.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well,
Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed and shook her head. I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
No, sorry.
Then, almost as if to save Seven from further embarrassment, a bell began to ring from far away. It sounded as though it was the clock at the main stairway. Jinbei counted each chime carefully. 10, 11, 12. It's midnight, and we've still got 6 hours left, right?
Let's just get moving. We gotta find that hardware the Reds are missing.
That's all well and good, but where are we going to look?
Well, we've already searched the big patient room.
They had been examining the room as they talked.
But we haven't found anything.
Right.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
Just one?
Well, not just one.
Well, wait a minute. Are you telling me we have to search all of these rooms?
Well, you already checked some of them out before you came here, right? We each checked a single room, so 5 rooms in total. Alright then, that's 5 rooms we don't have to search. If we split it up, it won't be that bad. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
There are 48 other rooms? Lotus did not seem excited by the prospect. Seven fidgeted nervously before responding.
Maybe?
Well, that doesn't seem suspicious at all. After some discussion, the 8 of them decided which rooms to begin with and in what order they would go. Jinbei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft. I wish I knew what that meant! They also determined when they would return to report their findings, the next time the clock sounded the time. When it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds. If, during the search, any one of them were to locate the missing components, they were to yell for the others. If this strategy failed, they returned to discuss their options later. The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However, any dots? From far away, Jinbei heard the bell ring. It did so only once. It was 1 a.m. I'm glad I didn't have to do all the searching. I'm glad it was just like a cutscene. He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there. Ace, Santa, Clover, June, Seven, and Lotus. They had gathered in front of door number 8. Or perhaps, to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to door number 8. Had one of them found the missing piece? What happened, guys? It was June who answered him. Jumpy, look! She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Vacant. Immediately, he knew what she had meant. Display on the front of the red read vacant. Oh, that's redundant. That's redundant. Jinbei sighed. Come on, guys, who was it? I thought we're supposed to yell if we found it. Well, Jinbei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut. What the hell? What is up with you guys? They all knew something he didn't, and Jinbei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke. Well, that's the thing. We don't know. You don't know? When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red. Jinbei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot that had been open on the bottom was now covered with metal. Clearly, whatever had been missing had been returned. What about the other 2? They're the same. Jinbei quickly examined the other 2 boxes. Satisfied that they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others. Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right? Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hands as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing. Huh? Wait a minute. That was when he noticed. Where's Snake? Jinbei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen. Does that mean that he found them?
I have no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either.
I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person.
Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
Maybe he's lost. Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place. Clover raised her head. No, that's impossible! Suddenly, she was shouting.
Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see. So he couldn't get lost. It's impossible.
Clover had started to shake, and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes.
I'm gonna go look for him.
The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run.
Hey, hold on, Clover, wait!
Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone. Damn it. What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now. No, we're not leaving two people behind. We should go look for them.
Oh man, this ain't good.
Ah, yes. What an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time. We've only 5 hours left.
Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. In front of the stairs that led to B-Deck, they decided to split up. They quickly assigned search areas and went their separate ways. Soon only 2 of them were left. Those 2 were Junpei and June, who had been a few steps behind the others. Alright, we should go too.
Yes, let's go. Where should we start?
Let's see. I think I'm actually going to end it. Should I? Let's see how long I've been going for. I've been going for a little over an hour. That makes about 2 episodes. I think I'm going to stop it here at this choice. Next time, I will go through the choices, and we'll see what happens next time. Yeah. See you later.